Thank you, everyone. Welcome to our town board meeting. Would you all please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcocchio.
Here.
Councilman Dooley.
Here.
Councilwoman Nicholson. Here. Supervisor Colavita.
Here. Thank you all for joining us. We're going to go to special presentations, and I call upon Judge Fred Salinitro to swear in our newly elected town board member, Sheila Marcotte. Sheila, Tom, please come to the mic.
I, Sheila Marcotte,
I, Sheila Marcotte,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of Eastchester Town Councilwoman
the duties of the office of Eastchester Town Councilwoman
to the best of my abilities,
to the best of my abilities,
so help me God.
so help me God. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. Do you take that home?
Nothing like the mask kiss.
Yeah.
I've been a victim of that myself. You say?
Sure. I briefly say thank you to everybody who came out on Election Day. It was an unprecedented turnout from both sides and a number of people. I certainly thank my opponent for putting herself out there. I think it takes a lot to run for election and to carry the banner of your party. But I think it all comes down to one thing, and we all do it. Everyone here does it for one reason, for the betterment of the community. And so I'm proud to be here. I'm happy to be back, and I thank everybody for your support. And I look forward to the next 3 years.
Great. Well said.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sheila. Okay, let's get to work, right? All right, we have our appointments, and there are several appointments that expired at the end of the year, so we have to renew many of them, and I'll try to get through these as best I can. The first is for the appointment of Karen Campanile as Deputy Registrar of Vital Statistics, effective 1/1/21 to 12/31/23. Karen will also be assisting the administration and maintenance of our Laserfish account, which has, all of our documents are being scanned, so they'll be readily available and will obviously be around permanently. Not that our clerk is not diligent with our records, but it's good to have them on computer. So that being said, I'll make the motion. Ask for a second, please.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcocchio.
Aye.
Councilman Dooley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita.
Aye. Next is the Cable Television Advisory Committee, effective 1/1/21 through 12/31/21. This is for the reappointment of Keith Bloomfield and Nicholas Dater. And upon the appointment, I'm designating Keith Bloomfield as the chair of the Cable Television Advisory Committee for that period. This is going to be a very important board in a short period of time because both the Verizon and Cablevision franchises are up shortly, and we need to get, make sure our committees together and ready to brawl with the Cablevision companies and Verizon. So someone care to make a motion?
So moved. Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcocchio.
Aye.
Councilman Dooley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson. Aye. Councilwoman Marcotte.
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita.
Aye. Next is the reappointment for the Committee of the Disabled for 1/1/21 through 12/31/21. We're asking Jennifer McNamee, Fran Clark, and Florence Cluris to also be reappointed, and we're designating Jennifer as the chairperson of the committee for the same period. I'll make the motion. Ask for a second, please.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcocchio.
Aye.
Councilman Dooley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson. Aye. Councilwoman Marcotte.
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita.
Aye. Next is the reappointment for the Traffic and Parking Advisory Committee, called Tpac, as we call it, for 1/1/21 through 12/31/21, reappointing Ellendale Cole, Charlie Galenick, Tom Fix, and John Walzer, and designating Ellendale Cole as chairwoman of Tpac for the same period. Someone care to make a motion?
I'm happy to move that.
Second.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcocchio.
Aye.
Councilman Dooley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson. Aye. Councilwoman Marcotte.
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita.
Aye. Also, we do have an opening on that board. If someone's interested in this, it's a bit of work, and it's a tough board because people are very territorial about parking and traffic flow and all. But, we need some strong members, and if you're interested, please let me know. Next is the reappointment to the Hazard Mitigation Committee. And this is for Nick Gerald and George Papadimitriou, and also adding as a new member, Lieutenant Joseph Rodriguez from Eastchester Police Department for a term of 1/1/21 through 12/31/21. Someone care to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcocchio?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson? Aye. Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye. Next is the appointment of Maria Gruber to the position of member of the Board of Assessment Review, effective 1/1/21 through 12/31/25. Maria is volunteering for this position. She came off traffic and parking and went to this board. She has an extensive financial background, which should be very helpful for the BAR. I'll move her appointment and ask for a second, please.
Second.
All right, please call the roll.
Councilman Marcocchio?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson? Aye. Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye. Next is for the reappointment of Peter Nerzia to the position of member of the Zoning Board of Appeals, effective 1/1/21 through 12/31/25. I'll make the motion for Peter. Ask for a second.
Second.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcocchio?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson? Aye. Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye. Next is the reappointment to the Library Board of Trustees, effective 1/1/21 through 12/31/25. And we're calling for the reappointment of Robert Cartolano, Rosetta McCardle, Darlene Rada, and James Martin, and designating Robert Cartolano as president of the Library Board of Trustees for the same period.
So moved. Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcocchio?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson? Aye. Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye. Next is the reappointment to the Recreation Advisory Board for the period of 1/1/21 through 12/31/25. Of course, it's a reappointment of Tracy McVeigh and Dan Lang. I'll make the motion. Ask for a second, please.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcocchio?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson? Aye. Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye. Lastly, this is for the appointment of Michael Casino to the position of Police Advisory Board member, effective January 1st, 2021 through 12/31/21. And before you vote on this, I just wanted to, one, thank Mike for his willingness to get involved in a very important board. He's retired Yonkers PD, has done extensive work in that department, very knowledgeable, very, I think a very good addition to the board. But equally important, I want to thank Mike Mosca, who had had entered the board since its inception. And Mike was a very, very effective leader on the board. Did a great job. He was the chair and the chief, I guess, of the county police department, amongst other titles he had in law enforcement. And he wrote me a lovely note indicating that because Eastchester is so well run, he was able to get a lot of money for his house. So he decided to sell and move up the line. But he said his heart will always be in Eastchester, and he was very, very, happy to serve on this very important capacity on the Police Advisory Board. So thank you, Mike Mosca. Though you may not be hearing this, hopefully the word will get to you. In any event, this is for Mr. Casino, and I'll make the motion. Ask for a second, please.
Second.
All right, please call the roll.
Councilman Marcocchio?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson? Aye. Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye. Next are the approval of the minutes for the December 1st and the December 15th regularly scheduled town board meetings. Any proposed amendments or modifications? No, there being none, I'll make a motion to approve same. Ask for a second.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcocchio?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson? Aye. Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye. Next are the reports of departments, boards, and commissions. Law Department report.
Yes, good evening, Supervisor. I have an introduction of a local law providing for the amendment of certain sections of Local Law Number 5, 2000, which was last amended by Local Law Number 1, 2019, the zoning law of the town of Eastchester, including Section 2.d regarding the definitions for formula fast casual and quick casual restaurant and food service establishments, and also Section 4.c.6, Schedule of Non-Residential District Regulations to permit studio uses under Column 2, Principal Uses in the Design Shopping Center District within the town of Eastchester, and further to set a date for a public hearing. And I know normally we would set at the next meeting, but I recommend to the board that we schedule this for a public hearing in the February meeting due to the fact there's a lot of stuff that has to get done between now and the public hearing that has to get notices, and we have to give a 30-day notice to the county and send them a copy of the law, and they have 30 days to get back to us. So I recommend the February date for the public hearing.
Okay, thanks. Just by way of explanation, what's going on here, very simply, I think everyone in town is familiar with the Vernon Hill Shopping Center, and not the Lord & Taylor's location. There's a little road that goes in between Athleta and Lord & Taylor. That's the dividing line of the property. Both Lord & Taylor and the Vernon Hill Shopping Center are in the designated shopping center zone, the DSC zone. That's the only part of the town that is designated as the designated shopping center, DSC. But from that driveway south, all the way to Lake Isle, is the Vernon Hill Shopping Center. It's approximately 15 acres, a little more than 15 acres, and it's approximately 425,000 square feet of retail and office space. And as everybody is aware, the retail market has been impacted dramatically, not just by COVID, but by online purchasing. So it's important to keep our commercial base strong for a simple reason, that we have a tax levy in the town. That's how much we collect from the public to run town government and provide all of our essential services. And there's a balance between the commercial section and the residential section. And the way you keep your residential section strong is by keeping your commercial district strong. Because if the commercial district value plummets, okay, then the residential base, mathematically, by operation of math, has to increase. So we want to keep our commercial base strong in order to protect our residential base. And presently, this shopping center pays about, I think, $995,000 or $997,000 in real estate taxes to the town of Eastchester. So, you know, it's a big player. And of course, you know, we want everyone to succeed. We don't want to have empty stores. We want to have a lot of stuff going on in that area, the designated shopping center zone. Also, the ownership has approached us and said that a lot of their stores are closing. We're all aware of the fact that New York Sports Authority closed, or the sports club closed, Brooks Brothers closed, a lot of other places are closing there. So they're trying to keep the stick and brick mortar shops open. So they're asking for our help, because if we can permit them to do a couple of these casual dining places, that'll be a good lure for people to come shopping, visit their doctor, go to their attorney, their CPA, etc. And when the Lake Isle improvement, when the Lord & Taylor improvement is concluded and they start building, their interior there, there's going to be a lot of people habitating that location for work and whatnot. So, you know, it's a good opportunity to keep everything strong and healthy. And what they're asking us to do is to permit like a quick casual restaurant in that zone, which is presently not permitted in the town in any zone. Okay, this is just for that zone, which is the Lord & Taylor and Vernon Hill Shopping Center area only. And, you know, they want to put in like a sweet green and, you know, that type of high-end, healthy food establishment. They have indicated that, that's what their goal is, and their other prospective tenants like Nike and Pottery Barn will come if they have these types of food establishments. So we're willing to work with them and to try to get something, give them a little assistance. This is not fast food. This is not Burger King and McDonald's and that type of fast food. This is the casual, quick, quotes, quick casual restaurant. We also, we like to try to keep a good working relationship with them. That shopping center also lets the town of Eastchester patrons of Lake Isle use their parking during the summer months when our parking lot is full for people at the pool and playing golf and tennis up at Lake Isle. Likewise, we reciprocated when they have a special event or something. We'll let them use parking in our lot during the non-pool months, provided there's not an entertainment event going on or a catering event, which we haven't had, obviously, in a while. We're trying to do the right thing and help them out. But one, this is not fast food. Two, we are limiting it to only 3 establishments, okay? 3 locations, including Starbucks, okay? So there will be 2 other spots that might be able to put in that entire shopping center. Also, we are limiting the overall number of square feet to 7,500 square feet including Starbucks, which is approximately 2,500 square feet. So we're talking about like an additional 2 of these, quick casual places. Also, the other thing they're asking for is, inasmuch as there's a dance studio there, and there was a New York Sports Club, though I'm not sure if the dance studio is still open or not. My girls are out of the dance age. They're also asking for the permission to include studio uses in that zone also, which are presently not permitted. New York Sports Club and the dance studio, I think, were grandfathered in under older codes. But they're asking us to do that because they want to introduce a Soul Cycle, and Soul Cycle is considered a studio use. So that's kind of a high-end studio use. They have a commitment from Soul Cycle, so I don't think that would be, I don't deem it to be an offensive use. Certainly, it's very useful for them and for their needs, but especially with the shopping that's kind of in the same circle of products and inventory. Anyway, notwithstanding all of that, that's the sum and substance of the zoning change. So it's just simply to permit this quick casual in that single zone, limited to 7,500 square feet and 3 locations, and also to permit the studio use for the Soul Cycle, and to basically legalize the dance studio if it's still in business or seeks to go in there. I don't know if New York Sports Club will be bouncing back. I'm not sure. I have no idea. I'm not a member there and have not been there, for a long time. It looks like I'm not a member there also, but doing my best to work out. Anyway, so with that being said, that's our proposal. So I would need a motion to set the public hearing for February 9th, which will likely be our town board meeting, because the regular scheduled meeting falls, one of them falls on the vacation week. So we're probably going to have our meeting on February 9th, which we'll address at our next meeting. So that being said, I'll make the motion to introduce this and to call for a public hearing for February 9th here in this room at 7 o'clock. So okay to second that?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Dooley. Okay, any further comment? Okay, there being none, please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye. Okay, there being no miscellaneous business, we have council member reports. Councilman Marcoccia?
Thank you, Supervisor. I would like to congratulate Councilwoman Sheila Marcotte on her election victory. She has proven to be a dedicated public servant and is an integral part of our local government. I know she will continue to work hard on behalf of our town residents. I want her to know that I stand ready to help and appreciate all of her past and future efforts here in the town. With the addition of Sheila Marcotte, our town board, working as a team, will be able to accomplish a lot. We will continue with park improvements, upgrades to Lake Isle, and to ensuring the financial strength of our town, while keeping taxes low. Together, we will continue to work tirelessly to ensure Eastchester and the villages of Tuckahoe and Bronxville are the very best places to live, work, and to raise our families. I also would like, in conclusion, to say during these challenging times for all of us, I hope you're in good spirits and in good health. I wish all of our residents a happy and safe New Year. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilman Dooley?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Yeah, I would also like to congratulate Councilwoman Marcotte on her victory. It was a very impressive victory, very difficult year campaigning, and I look forward to working with her over the next few years and just welcome her participation, her continued participation in public service. So welcome and congratulations. And also I'd like to just wish everybody a happy new year. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Nicholson?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I'll just add, congratulations, Sheila. I'm glad to be part of the team with you and looking forward to working together. Thank you. And just a short announcement, the Eastchester Little League has their open registration now for some clinics starting in January. There's a lot of detailed information you can find. You can go to eastchesterlittleleague.com to find out more on the registration. This is held at the Sports Dome in Mount Vernon, and it starts in mid-January, and this is for both the girls and boys. All right, and that's all I have, and Happy New Year, happy healthy to everyone.
Thank you. Councilwoman Marcotte?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I have no report. I would just like to thank my colleagues in government and also wish everybody a happy and a healthy new year. Thank you.
My own report, I want to congratulate Sheila as well on an excellent victory in a very difficult political environment. Just speaks volumes as to the confidence that the Eastchester public has for Sheila and for this town board. So I congratulate you. It's going to be a pleasure working with you again. Always a zealous advocate for Eastchester, Tuckahoe, and Bronxville. A couple of people had commented about the article in the paper, the journal news about the dam, and one person wrote to me and asked, what the story was, what was going on. Several people called. I spoke with them at length, but just so people are clear, the paper categorized the dam's condition as going to break any moment now, like it's leaking water and there's water shooting out of every brick in the dam. That's not the case. Not the case at all. The dam has stood solid since the 1870s, has withstood every hurricane and storm that's been thrown at it. Yes, it does need maintenance, but it is not in dire need of emergency work, and it's not going to implode or explode at any time soon. And we have engineers that have been up there, have checked it out, and have said, yes, it needs maintenance work, but it's okay for now. But it's going to get attention. The other thing that the article inferred was that there's nothing going on or that there's not a lot of action, and I can assure you we've been dealing with this for years. We've had meetings with Interlaken, with meetings with Tally and Interlaken, people in Lake Isle. We have had all kinds of goings on here. We're working with our assembly person, with our state senator, working with our congressperson, working with Scarsdale, New Rochelle, the county of Westchester, and of course, everybody in Eastchester for a long time. This is a very complicated project. Almost the entirety of the dam is owned by no one, which is further complicating the problem and delaying issues that need to be resolved. But, I don't want to give the impression that this thing is ready to crumble, because it's not. The other assertion that somehow the town of Eastchester is racist is equally ridiculous, and that's a very understated word for how pathetic that assertion is. It's strange how nobody said that New Rochelle was racist when they actually own the dam and are also, neighbors to Mount Vernon. It's just an absurdity, and it doesn't even warrant any kind of addressing. Anyway, but we are working hard on it. We're putting together a lot of special people, including engineers and architects, to work this whole thing through. There's going to be a ton of public meeting about this. There'll be a lot of stuff going on as we advance toward a resolution for the temporary, short-term maintenance, and then for the long-term maintenance of the dam, and also the Hutchinson River Mitigation Project, which is all tied to this. People don't realize that the county is involved, Scarsdale's involved, New Rochelle is involved, Eastchester is involved with not just the dam, but with also, with the river mitigation, with the flooding that's going on. And the county's putting in funds, public funds, so is Scarsdale, New Rochelle, and so will Eastchester, because it's important. Everybody uses that dam. It's an ecological and environmental, great impact if it was somehow ruined or destroyed or not maintained. Also, the river needs to be protected as well for the same reasons. Eastchester uses the sewers for our storm sewer up and down the river and the lake as well, and the public gets great benefit from the lake, and everyone downstream from the lake also benefits greatly by that dam. But anyway, that's where we are with that. Also, we are launching the Police Reinvention Committee shortly, probably at our next meeting, waiting for a couple of people to get back to me, but that's going to be in full swing very shortly, which I'm glad to report. Also want to wish everybody a Happy New Year as well. And that concludes my report, and that brings us to the second opportunity to address the board. Just check and see if anyone's there. Thank you. Do you want to move that mic, Francis? Thank you. Actually, I think there's a hardwired mic there, isn't there? I guess they could use that, sure. Just make sure it's on if you don't mind. Thank you. Don't let it hit the wood, otherwise it reverberates. That's good. Thank you. Thank you very much, Francis. Good evening.
Good
How are you?
evening. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, too.
Julie Fortier, 29 Sylvan, Tuckahoe. Wanted to wish everyone a Happy New Year, and also congratulations to Council Member Marcotte. Welcome back. I'm here to request once again that the board meetings be available online so that more people can attend, especially during the pandemic. This is not a new request. I started asking the board for the ability to join these meetings remotely in June, and I've been asking every month since. As you know, Bronxville and Tuckahoe already offer ways for their residents to participate remotely in meetings, and so do most of the towns and villages in Westchester County. Even Westchester County government is starting to offer online meetings this month. The benefits are simple and clear. Safety. As of January 4th, there are 310 active COVID cases in Eastchester. Some people are in quarantine, and many residents do not want to risk their health to attend a live meeting inside a building. Access. For residents who cannot attend due to COVID, and for any other reason, disability, transportation, childcare, video conference meetings would break down barriers to access. Engagement. If the meetings are easier to access, more people will join and engage with government. Shouldn't this be the town's goal? Transparency. By refusing to make it easier for residents to participate in meetings, it gives the impression that the board does not want to hear from residents or discuss difficult topics. You already do it. Eastchester already uses Zoom meetings for zoning, planning, and traffic meetings. And it works. Neighboring towns have implemented video conference meetings and residents love it. As I mentioned, I've been asking the board for online meetings for 8 months, and my request continues to be met with refusal without what I would consider a valid reason. No, in-person and email comments are not sufficient. Case in point, I missed the last 3 board meetings. On November 17th, I did not attend in person because members of the board were in contact with an active COVID case and the board did not provide assurances that it would be safe to attend. On December 1st, the high school was closed. My daughter was on quarantine. Therefore, I was in isolation. On December 14th, my family was also in isolation again after exposure to a positive case. On December 1st and 14th, I sent emails about this topic to be answered during the board meetings, and these were ignored. So today, I make my request, and I come with the signatures of over 100 residents who also support this action, and I ask again, will you implement online meetings?
Are you finished?
That's my question. Yes?
Yeah, I spoke to the board. Just because other boards do that doesn't necessarily mean that we'll do that. A lot of other towns and villages don't do Zoom meetings in Westchester County. And as far as your assertion that we're not transparent, we're completely transparent. No one is hiding anything contrary to all the posts out there. That's ridiculous. Also, just a matter of correction, 310 people do not have the virus in Eastchester. I see the list every day, it's less than 150, which is still a high number, but compared to the 22,000 people in the town, it's a relatively low number. Also, our meetings have always been live. We have always been here conducting business as usual. And we have not skipped meetings or shut down or done any of that. We're always here for our regularly scheduled meetings. And upstairs, there is a waiting room that you were sitting in that had nobody else in it, that's socially distanced with a TV monitor on so you can see everything that's going on. Then you could walk downstairs, address the board, and leave without any interference or any kind of problem at all. Our agendas are also available 5 days in advance of the meeting for anyone to ask a question or has a comment or whatever, they just contact my office. The meetings are also rebroadcast repeatedly on the cable networks, and at your request, we're going to put the meetings online on our website. So anyone can tap into a meeting and watch a meeting at their convenience as many times as they like. We have had promotional ceremonies in here. We've had swearing-in ceremonies in here. We've had commendation ceremonies in here without any issue or any problems at all. We have had other people from the community come here and address the board, some regulars, some not regulars, some people that don't come usually, but nobody had a problem. And, you know, there's a very simple solution to what you're asking for. All you have to do, if you have a question, is pick up the phone and call me. I get back to everybody all the time. Everybody gets a call back. And if anybody has a question, all they have to do is say, hey, Tony, what's going on with this, or what's happening with that, or can you take this tree down, or whatever it is. Everybody gets answered. You can email if you like to. So maybe there's some other ulterior motive why you want to have a Zoom meeting, but all you have to do is call Town Hall and your question gets answered immediately. And also, coincidentally, the same people that I'm sure are on that list, or the same people that have emailed me, the very small fraction of people that have emailed me, I see in CVS, Stop and Shop, Seat Town, in the restaurants in town, all over the place. So clearly nobody's phobic about doing all of that. So I think this assertion that people are scared to come to Town Hall and be on their own is a little bit disingenuous.
Well,
But
that's-
notwithstanding that, I respect your position, and we've evaluated it.
I don't think you respect my position. That's a very
You're just getting,
condescending
your answer is
statement
no,
you
and you
just
don't
said.
like it, and I can't help you with that.
Listen, I think that this is very condescending. So are you saying
Not
that
condescending
people
at
who
all.
are not willing to come here in person because they don't want to get exposed to COVID?
If someone doesn't want to leave
It's
their
not
house, they don't have to
legitimate?
leave their house. It's okay. No one's judging you. You don't have to leave your house. If you have a question on an agenda item or anything in town, just call me, and you get your answer immediately.
But you realize that asking a question to you via email or on the phone is private. The whole point of a public hearing is also for the people who are on TV to understand what's going on in town.
Well,
What are
people-
the
if-
concerns that
if
people
people-
have in town, right?
Continue.
That's
I
why
didn't
there
mean to
are-
interrupt you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So let me finish.
Yes.
Next month, there's going to be a public hearing. Whether or not people care about, like, bringing sweet pea or some other thing, like, if people want to come and speak about this, but they're quarantined or they're concerned about COVID, how will they express this to the board in a way that they know is meaningful?
Simple. You pick up the phone and you call the supervisor.
But that's
and you
not
get
a
your answer.
public-
Or you call any
that's
board
not-
member. Or you
that's
call
not
the
a public
department head.
hearing. That's not a public hearing. That's a
But
private
if people don't want to come to
conversation.
a public hearing, which it's a rare occasion when someone outside of COVID comes to a public hearing, notwithstanding that, if people choose not to come, they don't come. That's okay. If they have a question,
Listen,
they call.
And whatever. At this point, I feel you're being
Email is fine
dismissive.
also.
I will say, for the record, I feel you're being dismissive. This is a
Not
real
being dismissive.
issue.
You've asked us
No,
5
I-
times, like you said, and each
I-
time we said we're not interested in doing that. And you either accept it or you don't. You know, I'm being very respectful and not dismissive at all.
I'm sending you emails, you're not necessarily answering my emails.
I respond to your emails.
The last 2 meetings, I actually sent you emails, and I said for the second opportunity to address the board, and you did not read those messages.
Oh, I think you sent me
during
the
second-
same question, are you going to have a Zoom meeting or not, which we answered 4 or 5 times before then.
So
You
what
also-
makes it a
but you
legitimate
don't like the
question or
answer you're
not?
getting, so I can't help you with that.
What
You
makes
also
it a
asked me, excuse
legitimate
me, now I'm
question?
talking. You asked me a couple of questions about, or multiple questions about the budget. I answered every single one of them in order and very comprehensively.
You did, almost.
Thank you.
Except for a couple, which I will get back to at some point. So listen, I'm disappointed. I would still like to leave you the names of the people
Yes.
who agree with this action.
Jules, just, if you could, just hand it to the clerk. She's our recipient for
I will.
documents.
And,
you.
and, you know, I will come back.
You're
'cause
always
I do. And I think, you know, the board needs to think about how you want to actually engage with your residents.
Well, the last
know,
time you were
it-
here, you said it was a great idea, the way we had it set up.
Did I really say it was a great idea?
Yes, you appreciated the
I said,
fact that we
okay,
set this all
hold
up.
on a second. Let's backtrack for a second.
Right.
I want to set the record straight. I asked you in June, in July, and in August to set up Zoom meetings. And you said no. And I said, you know what, at that point, you could not even come here to address the board. There was no opportunity to address the board at all. And I said, at this point, if the gyms and nail salons are reopening, at least reopen town hall. And you agreed with that.
We didn't do that because you requested it. We were able to by the governor's executive order.
Well, sure, right? But I kept emailing every month asking you, will you reopen, right? So that's what happened. I came over, I congratulated you for setting this up because I think it was well set up. I will tell you today, the first 15 minutes of the meeting, the sound wasn't working upstairs. So I'm glad you will post a video online because I missed, you know, the better
That's
part
a
of the meeting.
technical problem that we can solve.
It is, but you know, I would have watched it at home, that would have been better, you know, that's a little bit ironic. But, you know, so all I'm saying, I'm gonna give this back to you. And, you know, I just think like, you know, just, it's something that you need to consider, like how do you want to engage with your residents? Is it just like the 5 people who, you know, are okay coming here with a mask? And people who are not, it's just too bad because you're not willing to take a chance?
Well, then they can call.
that sounds a
Again,
little-
I want to repeat myself, but they can just call. Simply pick up the phone and call if you have a question.
Of
And
course
it
they
always
can
gets
call.
answered,
But that
always.
is not a public hearing. That is not a public comment if I'm calling you on the phone. It is not.
Okay,
So-
but if your goal is to get your question answered, getting an email response or a phone call, conversation, gets your question answered. Do you have another motive? Is that what this is about?
What is the objective of a public hearing then?
But this isn't a public hearing. This is just a
public
town board meeting.
Public comments. This is a public opportunity to address the board. And part of it, you know, I've been watching these meetings forever. I like to watch the people who show up here because sometimes I learn about things that I didn't know about the board, right?
That's great.
Someone came up last month, they talked about the dam. I don't live close to the dam, and I was, you know, listening with great interest.
Sure, and the guy had no problem coming here and meeting with us, and he was thankful that he had the opportunity, and he got his question answered.
Right.
So,
At
but
this
if
point-
people don't want to come here,
listen.
that's okay. They can just call and get an answer another way.
Right.
But
right.
we're
I think
beating a dead horse.
At this point, I can see that we don't see eye to eye, but I will still leave you this, and I will leave you to hopefully consider finding a way to engage in a dialogue with everybody, not just with the few people who are willing to show up here with a mask. So thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Again, Happy New Year, everyone,
You too.
and my best to all.
Thank
Can I bring this to you, Linda?
There we go.
Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, there being no one else, so someone care to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.